get him to go upstairs with it.
All right. Thanks for tuning in live to Proline TV for more thoroughbred coverage as we take a look once again, just like we did last week, at both Aqueduct, also known as Belmont at the Big A, and Keeneland, right here with Jon Hardoon. John, how's it going?
Good, Greg. How are you?
Doing good. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. You can also, you see that little dollar sign on the screen over there where you text your questions. Well, if you click that, you can donate to the show, and any questions or comments you have will be highlighted. Hey, you know, that shows you that you've donated to the show, and that makes you special. And we would definitely appreciate that. Anything that donates to the show goes to definitely making sure that we can produce even better quality programs for you. Matter of fact, we are going to have 2 quality programs for you next week. So don't forget about that. Matter of fact, we've been talking about, instead of doing our usual 2 shows, we're going to have 1 longer show. So how about that? So you won't have to wait an extra day next week for our Breeders' Cup special, which will be on Wednesday. Correct, John?
Yes. Well, we have to figure out the time. And by the way, somebody emailed you about a race on Sunday at San Diego, but we don't have the
Sunday.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Yeah, that's right here. We had a comment, and again, we love the comments, the questions. But one of our viewers, Jeremy Cook, 7495, right here. Can you cover the Grade 3 $100,000 autumn mistakes at Santa Anita in your Thursday handicapping? But again, that race is on Sunday. So the information to handicap the race isn't available until tomorrow. And then that means that because it's a Sunday race, so tomorrow what we'll do is John can go ahead and pass over to me if you can. John, yeah, you can pass over to me your selections, and I'll text them for everybody right here on the channel. So you just got to go to the comment section of the channel, and you can check out the picks for the race, and that'll be a special. This is something John can't do all the time, but he will do it for our viewer, Jeremy Cook. So you're lucky, Jeremy. All right, let's see. And we got links in the description of the video as well if you want to get all of John's picks over the weekend and every day, depending on what track you're interested in. Yes, Mr. Guitar, I am right with you. Can't wait until next week. It's going to be a big week, and it's almost here. Also, in the comment section from last week, Vale Place. Love you guys. You both remind me of the crowd in the Manhattan Room. Now, I don't know what that means.
Is that from some movie or something?
Yeah, I hope. I don't even know if it's positive, because it could be actually a negative, and we're just too stupid to figure it out.
But he starts it off with "love you guys."
It could be sarcastic.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so either. But you never know. So
we basically have pretty good listeners, to tell you the truth. So.
Yes. Let me type. Let's see. Before we move on, I don't see anything else. Okay. Yeah. Just remember, because Bob Mataraz wanted to know about the thanks icon. And again, it's actually a dollar sign you got to check out. The thanks icon is for the recorded shows. I made that mistake. So for the live shows, you see the dollar sign, and that's what you click. Okay, so let's see. Manhattan Room. What's the Manhattan Room?
You're doing this now? Okay, go ahead.
Let's see. The rooms are Norwegian Cruise Line ships. Let's see. Yeah, you see. Maybe it's is that like when you go on cruise and you get like an act? Maybe that's what this viewer were an act.
Okay,
so,
we're an act.
I guess that's good, because you have to pay for the act. So this is free. So, all right. So let's talk about the first race at Belmont at the Big A, John. And that is going to be the Turf Sprint Stakes. And this is a turf race. You can see there. The third, and very, very rare for us to do the third race, but this is actually a pretty decent race compared to some of the other races on the day on the card. What are there, like about 6 or 8 stakes races?
They're all New York bred stake races. So if you have a New York bred, that's your big day of the year. You get an opportunity to run in those. They give away a lot of money on those days.
All right. And Jeremy, just wanted to thank you for the request, John. So you're welcome, Jeremy. All right. So this is, again, 6 furlongs, outer turf. And this should go off close to quarter after 1 on Saturday. So be ready early on Saturday for this one. The morning line favorite is the 26 black is an 8-5 shot. And this particular trainer, I don't think I've heard of Horatio DePaz before.
Well, he's been in Maryland. He runs a lot of horses in New York. He's a good trainer. Good trainer.
So it's rare that the morning line favorite is the horse that we actually start off with, and that's 26 black. So Rosario is on board. Doesn't look like he's been on board before. And a lot of 10s here. Matter of fact, John, this horse has been at Aqueduct at least the last 5 races that we see here on the form. And in all 5 races, he ran a 10.
Well, his last race was at Aqueduct, but the 2 previous races were both at Saratoga. And then he came, New York, right? You said his last 5. It wasn't his last 5. It's only been
no, the last 5 at Aqueduct.
Oh, okay. No, his last race was at Aqueduct, but the race before that was at Saratoga, as was.
Yeah. No, the last 5 at Aqueduct, he ran a 10.
Okay. Yeah. Yes, that's true.
Which is kind of unusual to see that.
Pratt's coming off. Pratt, I don't know if he's here. He's probably somewhere else Saturday, probably in Kentucky. Who knows?
Yeah, he's at Keeneland.
Okay, so Rosario's going to take them out. And obviously, he's not Pratt, but there's nothing wrong with Rosario. The horse is okay. The problem is he's 8-5.
Yep.
You're going to see a horse in the race that's a longer price that has just as good a chance off the numbers.
Yeah, I definitely think you play him, but I agree. I'd rather try to find a better option here, and I think there are a couple. So let's see if we agree on the same horse, which we usually do. Next up is the 2, Rolalo. Try to say that 5 times fast. And anyway, this horse is 8-1. And when I noticed here about Waralo, who has just been on turf for the last 4 races, and that's it. He's got 22 career races. His last 4 were on turf, and that's a good thing looking at the sheets, because he really, the numbers were not very good on dirt races, but all of a sudden on his 4 turf races, it's like 11, 10, 12, and 11. It's like, well, why'd you wait this long?
Yeah, he waited until he was 6 years old to decide to try the turf. And it turned out to be the smartest thing they ever did, because he's a totally different horse on the turf. The only knock I have on the horse is, first of all, Rosario rode him in the past. He's getting off him to ride the 1, but who cares? What I care about is that he's coming off of Lasix. All these races this year have been on Lasix, and this is the first time he's coming back close. If you look, he's always had time between races. Now it looks like they're rushing him a little bit. He has a shot. He's like a lot of other horses in the race, and he is 8-1, so that's good news if you like him.
Yeah.
You can certainly use him.
Yeah, I was intrigued, and we're going to get to the 3 next. And when I went to the 3, I was like, well, they're both 8-1, and I prefer the 3. But when I looked at the 2, I was trying to find out, because as you said, it's the first time it's 3 weeks rest. But it's interesting because he's only been in these 4 turf races. He's only had, at least in one of them, he had 3 to 4 weeks rest, and that was actually his best race. He ran a 10. So then he went and had like 6 weeks. And so anyway, it was ironic that his best number actually came with the shorter rest he had. Maybe that's the thinking, is that, hey, 3 weeks, let's just see if we can get another 10 out of him. Because I don't know if 10 will win, but, hey, 26 black might have to run a 10.
Well, but they're running for 200,000. So when you run for 200,000, so if you have to run them back a week shorter, you don't get many chances to run for 200,000 as a New York bred sprinter on the grass. So that's the reason they're doing it.
Okay.
The other thing I like about this horse is I like 2 and 3 starts back. He won both those races by a nose, so he's a fighter. And it's just horses like that are neat. They know where the finish line is, and he was favored in both of those races, and he rewarded his backers, by winning by a nose both of those races at short prices.
And he's also, as you said, John, because of that, that's a good sign for a horse that has been in the money 17 of 22 times.
Yeah, and on grass, he's 2 out of 3 at Aqueduct and 2 out of 3 at the distance. So there you go.
Then, as I said, the 3 also 8-1, but I preferred the 3 a little bit more. Maker's having a really good meet, that helps. But just looking at the numbers, the last 4 races, you have 3 8s and a 10. So that's pretty good in this field. He does have a win a couple of starts ago. He's got a couple of wins here. Pretty much like the 2. I mean, the one thing the 2 does have the advantage over the 3. As I mentioned, he's got that really nice percentage of 17 out of 22, whereas the 3 has, it looks like, 17 out of 28. So it's not that far off. Anyway, they're pretty similar, but I like the fact, obviously, that the 3's numbers are quite lower or higher.
Yeah, well, this horse has 3 8s out of his last 4 starts. Nobody could say that. Who has 3 8s in this race out of their last 4 starts? Not only that, the horse is 8-1. I mean, this is a no-brainer. You have to play this horse, win, lose, or draw, and you should get a price, and he should get somewhat of a setup. I think there's enough speed in here to set this up for a closer, and he is a closer. And by the way, you point out that Mike Mager has been on fire, and you're 100% right. That barn was cold, during the Saratoga meet for the most part till the end. But the last month since they left Saratoga, everything he's sending out is winning. He even won a couple of races today as well. So,
and Engelhart hasn't won yet so far in just 11 starts.
He's fine. He wins races. He's got seconds and thirds, so it's not like his horses aren't running.
The 4 is Dancing Buck. I don't see any value here with the 7-year-old Dancing Buck at 9-2, because you're talking about a horse that even though he ran a 7 5 starts ago, that 7 was March of last year. So now the horse is 7 years old, and he's got a 14 and a 12. Not bad after the layoff. He had a long layoff, and he ran a 14, then he ran a 12. So at least, he improved upon it. But, we're talking about a 7-year-old. Again, as I said from the very start, I just don't see the value at 9-2.
There's no value. He hasn't run a single digit since last year. Here's the problem with this horse. 2 years ago, he ran 4 times. Last year, he ran 3 times. The good news is that he's now making his 3rd start this year in a short period of time. But it's a horse that obviously has had physical problems throughout his career. When he runs, he usually runs okay, but he's a little slower than other horses. The 1, 2, and 3 are all faster than him, and they're all long. Well, the 1's not a longer price, but the 2 and 3 are certainly longer prices. I don't want this horse at 9-2.
Yeah, and I don't think there's any way the 3, is going to be higher than the 4. No way. That price will come down a little bit on the 3.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, the 5 is one of the favorites. It is the second choice, Bold Journey, at 3-1. But same thing a little. Look, definitely the 5 is better than the 4, but at 3-1, you only have 1 9. That was 3 starts ago, a couple of 10s. So again, in this race, that's okay, but 3-1. And Mott's actually been struggling so far this meet. And the other thing that I noticed is just take a look at the last 10 races. He's got no wins. No wins in his last 10 races.
We're betting numbers. We don't care if they win. Obviously, if you bet them, you want them to win, but we're betting off lines. I don't think.
Yeah, well, you got to 10. Like I said, that's why you got just 1 9, and then I got no wins. 3-1.
So you got 3 seconds in your last 3 races. It's not.
Well, I don't want him to finish in second. He finishes in second, he's going to kill
the
money.
3-1, you don't want him to finish.
No.
You don't want to play him, I don't think.
No.
Again, I would use him more for the strength of the 3's 8-1 , but
which one do you like more, the 5 or the 1?
The 1. The 1 has I like the 1 much better than the 5.
The 5 does have 56% as far as his earnings and as far as in the money, and also 56% either first or second, which is pretty impressive. And
Yeah, but remember one thing about the one. The one, for example, the one is 5 years old. He has 16 lifetime starts. The 5 is 6 years old, and he has 30 starts. So
Yeah.
he doesn't miss a dance. He shows
Yeah.
up all the time, and so that's
Yeah.
impressive. He's a healthy horse. He hasn't been on Lasix forever. And Alvarado and Mott, obviously a good connection. They're going to be Sovereignty. They're going to probably be the favorite come Pacific Classic next week. So.
Breeders' Cup.
Yep.
Okay. Next up, we have 2 more horses. The 6, I don't think we have to spend a lot of time on Twisted Filigree because his numbers are just a little slow.
Yes, and George Weaver's having a terrific year, but this horse doesn't belong here.
And here's the horse that definitely looks like I think we're simpatico on. How can you not be on Senbei? The 5-1 shot, and I don't know if we'll be lucky enough to get 5-1. Manuel Franco's having a fantastic meet so far, and these numbers are definitely the best overall. If you just look at just these past 10 races, say only one outside, actually double digits. Everything else, 9 single digits. Actually, I say 8 single digits, including 2, 3 8s. So I think Senbei is definitely the horse to go with here. And look, I don't know if we're going to get 5-1 though.
Well, I have a problem with Senbei. I'm not quite as high on this horse as you are.
Okay.
Because if you look closely at his sheet, this year he ran a 9, fine, with trouble. Then he ran the 8. Then he had time off, ran the 9. And then he had more time off and ran the 10. So shouldn't the last race certainly have been better than a 10? I know I'm nitpicking and it's only a point or two, but this horse really should have run better. And he didn't. So that makes me a little disappointed. But I'm using him. There's no question about it. Because he never really runs a bad race. And the team he ran last time out is as bad as it gets for him. But that
I'd like a 7-3 exacta to tell you the truth. I think that if we can get the odds that we're getting here.
Yeah, you can freeze him. Anyway, I like the 3 Run Curtis run in exactas over the 1, 5, and 7. Main pun should be 3 with 1 and 7, I guess. And the only reason I'm throwing in 3, 5 is because of the strength of the 3 being 8-1. 3 with 1, 5, 7. Come back, reverse them as well.
And I'll do 7 over 1, 3. 7 over 1, 3. So go ahead.
So we booked a good race, hopefully. 7 horses, not a big giant field, but compared to the rest of the card, like you said, probably the best, but one of the better betting races on the card.
Okay, so as we make our switch over to Keeneland, let me make sure that we've got the right background, which we do. Let's make sure we also have the right entries, which now we do. So it's race number 9, should be about a little after 5:15 on Saturday. And once again, this is going to be Keeneland after the first race was at Aqueduct. And taking a look here. Oh,
by the way, this is a terrific betting race. I mean, it's just really a good race. You got 10 horses entered. You got a couple of fast horses, just 11 horses entered. I'm sorry. And I think this race is good.
And before we get started, Mr. Guitar wanted to, is this something that you can answer quickly?
What's the question?
Can you please expound on why CAW is detrimental for the retail bettors, aside from the odds changing after the gate opens?
Well, it's the worst thing in the world. It's going to be the demise of horse racing. Today at Keeneland, for example, the final race, the one horse was 10-1 when he got in the gate.
Oh, geez.
When he crossed the finish. And so instead of getting $22 when he crossed the finish line, he went to 7-2 and you got 9.
Oh, my Lord.
Okay, so if you're new to the game and you go to the track for the first or second time and you go and you bet a 10-1 shot and you expect to get $20, you go and you get $9. Well, nothing's worse than that. And if you're an everyday player like most of us are, well, it's just disgusting what they're doing. In New York, even at Del Mar last summer and now at Santa Anita, they're shutting the windows for CAW players with 2 minutes to post. But they're only closing the win pool, so they're getting involved in other exactas and horizontal bets that people aren't going to be privy to unless they were writing down the numbers, what they were getting, because they're destroying those pools too. the racetracks are being short-sighted. It's great to have these people bet all kinds of millions of dollars. It helps their handle in the short run, but in the long run, they're chasing people away. I deal with a lot of big players, and I could tell you that not all of them, but a handful of them have already quit. They're betting sports, they're playing poker, whatever it is. They've had it, and rightfully so. This can't go on much longer. It just, listen, Dave Portnoy, he got on the bandwagon because he bets all kinds of money. He's got close to 4 million followers on X, and he went after CAW this week. So that's encouraging when you get guys with big platforms like that stand up for the little guy, the bettors. That's important. And let's see if anything happens.
So he must have got screwed.
He's had enough. He had enough of it. I mean,
so why did they create this? What was the idea?
The idea is to build handle. These people that are playing with CAW, they're getting 9 and 10% rebates. So they don't care if they lose. They don't care if they break even. If they break even and you bet millions of dollars and you're getting 10% or 9% rebate on it, well, that's great. You know what I mean?
So you mean you have to join CAW
as... It's not joining anything. It's a group of people, I guess, that have literally millions of dollars on account. And they have computer programs that could make millions of bets in literally less than a minute. So what they're looking to do is cover every combination that isn't hit, or when they think a horse should be 3-1 and he's 10-1, well, they just send it in. It's all with algorithms and everything else. I'm not that smart. I don't know what they're doing, but that's the premise.
And what's the industry have to say about this?
Well,
does anybody speak about it in the industry? No,
they're hush-hush. They figure, well, people are nuts and they'll come back and play anyway, which most of them do. They're trying to start a national boycott and everybody take a day off or a race off and stick it back to them. But so far, they haven't been able to do it.
What's too bad too is because whenever it's on network TV, the races, especially the big races, the handles are so big that, especially like the Triple Crown races, and definitely the Derby, is the odds, like the odds that start off in the morning of the Derby, like hardly change much because of the handle is so big. So you really, when you have the biggest audience, you can't prove or show an example of how this could work against you.
If you look on X, you could see people are taking pictures of the odds when the horse goes in the gate.
Yes.
And now we have receipts.
Yes.
I will tell you that CAW will be involved on Breeders' Cup Day, but that's the only day that I personally don't mind if they're involved, because they cannot bet enough to move the pool.
Yep.
So let them get involved on that day. Fine.
Well, let's again, as we know,
it's a mess, and it's certainly not good for horse racing. Again, this can't continue for much longer because serious players have had enough.
Yeah, it's happened to all of us. Okay, so we'll go with race number 9 at Keeneland, 1 mile and an eighth, and this is a Grade 3 race, 350,000. Kentucky these are 3-year-olds and up. And the morning line favorite is the 3, Bracket Buster, a 3-1 shot. We have talked about this horse before.
We've spoken about most of the horses in this.
Yeah, field. We have. Yeah, so. A lot of horses we're familiar with.
Like Reunion Day. Here we go.
Yeah, why not? That's good. And there's some nice valued horses in here too. So let's see if we can hit one. Starting with the 1, Lambeth, an 8-1 shot, coming off an 8 on turf, but on a dirt track like this one. The best we have is we got a 10 and a few 11s.
Yeah, I mean, a 10 and an 11 in a lot of races are good, but when you need an 8 or a 7 or a 4, well, it's the wrong horse to get stuff. And this horse is going to take money because it's Joe Sharp, who, by the way, surprisingly slow meet, 1 for 25 at the meet, but Jose Ortiz rides for him. So Jose Ortiz usually takes money. All that being said, this horse didn't make my list, so he's out.
Okay. Now, as far as, and there's a handful of long shots, value plays, and this is actually, I know that this is one that we haven't really responded well to. I think, didn't you pick this horse like the very first time we played him?
We played this horse. We even used him last year, if you remember, in the Kentucky Derby, and he had all kinds of trouble, I believe. Was this horse in the Derby?
Yes.
Okay, so
that's why I'm remembering that. I think you had picked this horse.
Yeah, you see the big T on the sheets. He had major trouble because he really had a nice line going into it. Anyway, all that being said, they actually gelded this horse prior to his last race. Now, that's really giving up. When you have a horse that was in the Triple Crown races and everything else, usually you would think they had some breeding value. That being said, when you geld him, well, then he loses all his value. So he ran a 9 last time out, which was the best race he's ever run. But here's the question. Did he run the 9 because he was gelded, because horses generally improve after being gelded? Or did he run the 9 because he was on Lasix for the first time last time out? So it could have been a little of each. I don't know. But even in his heyday, when he was a terrific horse, he never put 2 races together. Even if you go back to his 2-year-old campaign, 11 came out, ran a 17, ran a 10, bounced to a 15, ran a 10, bounced to a 20. Even this year, the 10-3 starts back, then bounced to a 28 last time out. I can't play this horse. He's 20-1. He's obviously coming off of Lasix. I liked this horse a lot earlier in his career than in this spot.
Yeah, the only thing that, again, like you said, the only thing that we got, I mean, if you want to take the horses, it's 20-1. Yeah. So it is a big number.
We never, anyone that wants to play anything over 10-1, I would never try to talk off. It's just, if you like a horse and you have an opinion, you certainly have to listen to your opinion before you listen to mine or yours or anyone else's.
Okay, now we get the morning line favorite, Bracket Buster. A solid horse, but at 3-1, I just think there's some better options out there because if you look at the numbers, his last 3 races were his best 3 races: a 10, an 8, and a 10. Again, that's fine, but there's some other, pretty decent horses in this field, and you're not getting any value here at 3-1 unless you really like the horse, of course.
We gave this horse out at Monmouth when he won by 7 lengths, I think 3 races back. That being said, and he was good to us. He won that day. He won for fun. But all that being said, who the heck needs this horse at 3-1 in this field? I don't want this horse at 3-1. If he wins, you tip your hat. You say, nice job. Listen, at Keeneland, he's 1 for 2 with the second. So he's hit the board in both of those races. But this is a different game. Yeah, this is a different group of horses.
Okay, and now we have another horse, another long shot horse that looks like he's got really good value, and that's Dilger. Dilger's got a good combo with Pratt and Safi Joseph Jr. Also, if you look at his year, really, except for the 1 race in May at Gulfstream, his numbers have really been solid. He's improved over his last several races from a 10 to a 9 to an 8. He has done this on or off Lasix, which is good. And you're getting 12-1.
Yeah, he's fine. The only thing I could tell you is his last race at Parks and the race at Saratoga those mile races, I think, are around 1 turn. Well, certainly the Saratoga one is it's one a little bit of a turn. They start, they have like an elbow there. So this is a new distance for him. Yep. This is 1 1/8. Yep. For the first time, I guess. Well, he did run last year at Keeneland to 14, and at that point, it was a good race. This horse is fine. I'm using him at 12-1. I'm not keying off of him. I like the fact that Pratt rides, and obviously Safi Joseph, always dangerous. At the price, must use.
The 5 is Moonlight, and Moonlight at 8-1. You have Gaffleone on board. He jumped on board. He had been on board before, but he hadn't been on him for a while. Last race, jumps on board, optional claimer, gets a win, running a 7. What's really good about this horse, besides the 8-1, in the last 4 races, you have 9-8, 7-7, and the 1 race, winning 3 out of the 4. Now, the 1 race, he was off Lasix. He was 5th, but he did run a 7. So it wasn't like he was 5th with a 12 or a 13, and that would definitely be a red flag. As far as looking for value, I think this is a good valued horse at 8-1.
Yeah, this is another one I'm using, but this is another one that has a little bit of a problem. Listen, he hasn't done anything wrong this year. Every race is better than the previous one, but he's always taken plenty of time between races. Between both of his last 2 7s was a couple of months. Between the race 2 and 3 starts back was a couple of months. Between the race 3 and 4 starts back was 6 or 7 weeks. Now, for the first time, he ran on September 28th. He's coming back in less than a month. So that's my only concern because, listen, Chris Block has done a terrific job spacing this horse's races. He gives him time, and he always responds, to that kind of time off. And now we're going to try something new for the first time. But that being said, he's listed at 8-1, and I think he's going to go off longer than 8-1, to tell you the truth. Tyler Gaffalione riding as good as anybody is at Keeneland, so I am including this horse for sure.
Okay, now we go with the 6, Rattle and Roll, a 12-1 shot. And Rattle and Roll, this horse has really been through a lot of traveling lately. You could see he got off to a really good start overseas, winning that Grade 3 race. And then he goes to the Saudi Cup, huge race, of course, and definitely just gets overmatched. Runs a 10, that's okay. Comes back in the Dubai World Cup and really gets overrun, but runs a 9, that's okay. But then he comes to the States after a layoff, and his first race back in a Grade 2 race was a 15. You're talking about a 6-year-old as well. So what do you think about Rattle and Roll?
I don't like him. I don't like the 15 he ran last time out. Obviously, he needed that race. It was his first race in a long time. But again, you're going to need an 8. Can he run a 9 or 10? Possibly, but I don't want this horse. I like better. I like other horses.
Okay, now we go to the 7, and that is Best Actor, a 30-1 shot. Matter of fact, this is, I think if you're looking at it, there's, I think even the 8, the 2 30-1 shots, they're basically like one-hit wonders. The Best Actor ran a 7 in August. And everything else was pretty much slow. 8, Prince of Power ran a 7 also in August. It did run a couple of 10s, but that's about it. Do you see anything at all here with the 7 or the 8?
Well, I see the 7. He ran 2 starts back, but he's not going to run it. I mean, listen, at 30-1, if you wanted to send him and use him in your tries or super somewhere in the bottom, you certainly can. But I'm not using him.
Now we get to the last 3 horses, and we have 3 good ones here to talk about. The 9 is Dragoon Guard, a 4-year-old 7-2 shot. You got Brad Cox training. 3 8s this year, all optional claiming races, coming off a win, also all on Lasix. What do you think about Dragoon Guard?
He's fine. I'm using him. He's fast. He's never run worse than an 8 this year. I would like a bit of a longer price. And if you look, he's been the favorite in his last 5 races. 5 races in a row, he's been a favorite. But those were optional claiming races. Now he's running against the big boys. I'm using him.
Okay, now we get to the 10, Gosger, a horse that we remember quite well because this horse finished second twice to Journalism in the Preakness and the Haskell back-to-back while running a 7 and a 4. He then predictably bounced to a 10 in the Pennsylvania Derby, so you can kind of put a line through that if you want, because if you do that with the bounce, it's 17, 15, 11, 7, 4. And Gosger's a 9-2 shot. Brendan Walsh, Saez, a lot to like about Gosger.
And he's my top selection. No one else in the race has a 4. He has a 7 before the 4. He did have trouble at Parks last time out, and Parks is a quirky kind of track. Horses either love it or don't. So, and he was coming off of the 4, like you said. I think he's running better than a 7 on Saturday, and this is my top selection. And if I really get 9, and by the way, Brendan Walsh is hitting at about 30% there. So nothing wrong with betting Brendan Walsh horses. I like this horse.
Yeah, the horse actually that I'm going to pick is the next horse, and that's Hit Show, a 6-1 shot. Now this is a horse, speaking of, by the way, this is the defending champ of the race. Hit Show won this race last year, also had the same tune-up races. And they run and in those 3 races last year, the West Virginia race and the the Lucas Classic race, he won all 3 of those races, including this one, running an 8, 8, and a 6. So this year, he ran a 4 and then a 10. Now, what you do notice this year compared to last year is he was more consistent with the numbers last year. This year, it's 8-11, 5-10, 4-10, And so if he continues on that kind of trend, then he's ready to hit another good one. So I'm going to go ahead and take Hit Show as my top choice.
Well, the problem I have with Hit Show is as follows. The 4 that he ran 2 starts back was on Lasix, and Florent Giroux rides this horse every single start. And he opted, Brad Cox has 2 horses in the race, the 9 and the 11. Giroux is his main guy. Giroux went to the 9, not the 11. I'm sure he had his choice. You want to ride the 9 or the 11? He went to the 9. Not only that, the 11 is now you're really outposted. I know the 10 is just a post away, and I'm betting the 10. So why is the 10 okay to bet, but not the 11?
Yeah. Wow.
The 10 is a 3-year-old, who's improving. And by the way, people don't like betting 3-year-olds against older horses, but I think it's late enough in the year where it doesn't make that big a difference. I like the 10 the best. Gosker Exact is with the 4 Dilger, the 5 Moonlit, and the 9 Dragoon Guard. 10 with 4, 5, 9. Obviously, you could reverse them small.
Okay, and I'm going to go ahead with the 11 over the 4, the 5, and also the 10. So I think we have pretty much pretty similar, except you don't have the 11 and I don't. Actually, I have.
You have the 11 on top. That's fine. The 11 could win.
I have the 11. You have the 10. So let's hope for a 7-3 exacta or a 3-7 in the first race and an 11-10, 10-11 in the second, and we can all be winners. Okay, so again, next week, Wednesday, it's going to be a big show. We're going to have bonus coverage. So we're going to take a look at all the races and come up with 3 to 4 races to let you know about what we're going to do.
Maybe one or 2 Friday and 1 or 2 for Saturday.
Yes, Friday coverage and Saturday coverage. So
Friday is a 2-year-old races, so we're probably going to lean more on Saturday.
Yeah. We might have one on Friday.
The Classic, which is setting up to be the race of the year for sure.
Absolutely.
I mean, you got everybody showing up, and as long as it's all the pieces stay in the right places and there's no one gets hurt or anything, should be a great race.
Yep. And again, check out the comment section on the channel for tomorrow. As soon as John gets the information, he's going to go ahead and let me know what it is, and I'll text it for everybody to check out. So thanks.
You can post it on the comment section if you want. You just post it on the comment section.
On the comment section. That's it.
I got to wait for the odds to come out. So it'll be in the afternoon sometime, before 5 Eastern time. You got plenty of time.
And just if you have any questions about it whatsoever, if you can't find it for whatever reason, just let me know and I'll put a link in there for you. So, John, thanks as always.
Thanks, Greg. Stay safe and be well. And thank you, everybody, for listening, and hit subscribe. Do we still do that?